weep, grana, weep, mong, and welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things Transformers and Transformers action figure related. And today on my channel we're going to be asking a quick question. Should Hasbro be more transparent when it makes changes to the product after the first reveal? So recently I've been reviewing quite a lot of the Studio 86 product line from Hasbro, and something that I've noticed on the back, and certainly before this happened as well, is that the renderings, kind of the promises made initially from the reveals, don't always translate into the product when it comes to color, when it comes to paint apps, even when it comes to modeling on the product itself, when it comes to detailing. Some of these things are actually lacking, and they change when we get to the actual product.
This is bad comedy.
Hasbro, who do communicate quite well with the fan base, I would say, never really communicate out about the changes that they make. So I'm wondering if they should be more clear. Something else I'm really into apart from the world of the Transformers is gaming. I absolutely love and adore both console gaming and PC gaming, and if I'm not doing this, then I'm probably on my Xbox or my PC or my PlayStation playing a few games. And if we look at that world and we take what happens there, they release a trailer for a game, and if they don't deliver on the promises of that trailer, then the whole gaming community gets up in arms as this is not what we were promised. I'm looking at you, Cyberpunk. I'm looking at you. And if this does happen, because the fan base always gets up in arms, the communications will then come out from these companies that make the computer games and say, hey, this is what happened, this is why we made this change, this is why we made this change. Or actually what happens sometimes is they keep people kind of in line and informed about what is going on during the development process.
But very well, I will provide you with a new body and new troops to command.
Now in the world of Hasbro and in the world of the Transformers, we don't get that kind of insight and feedback from the people who create the things that we collect. And it's quite interesting to me because we had something like Unicron. So we take the Unicron and we had constant updates about Unicron. However, as people were pointing out, the official rendering, the original designs and colors of the Unicron that we were promised, that's not what it translated into when we actually got the product in our hands. Also, there was changes that were made to the minifigures and all kinds of things in this that were very different from the promises that were made by Hasbro. And even though they updated the project along the way, they didn't update us about the changes that they made to the product itself.
This is bad comedy.
Now, if we move away from the world of Hasbro and keep it within the realm of Transformers, we can look at some third-party companies, ex-Transbots, even Fans Toys in some cases. They show us some colors, some renderings, some this, some that, and then they get that fan feedback and they say, hey, due to your feedback, actually we're going to change this color, or we're not going to change this color, and this is why we're not going to change this color. But they have that conversation with their fan base. Yes, their products are more expensive, and yes, their products are probably going to be bought by less people. But to have that fan base involvement and to have that culture where they're asking the questions and listening to the people and giving that explanation, I think this is why a lot of people move from the Hasbro side of things and over to the third party market when they start really collecting, because hey, they have a little bit of involvement and feel a little bit of ownership, and like they can take part in the creation of these figures. And ultimately, I think this really helps the third party companies deliver what they need to deliver, because maybe they're not seeing something that the fan base is seeing, because at the end of the day, the fan base is the people who are going to buy it.
Excellent.
And this, when we bring it back to Hasbro, this is really on display when we look at the Studio 86 line. Take a figure like Redgar. The initial rendering I was super pumped for. Absolutely adore it. This is my favorite figure in the whole world of the Transformers. I absolutely love Redgar. I talk TV, he talks TV, we're all good. The rendering, absolutely beautiful. I would say movie accurate. The figure, when I got the figure in hand, yeah, the figure's nice. The figure's good. But the colour, especially when I look at the browns and some of the other colours on this figure, it's not what we were promised. It doesn't strike the same chord with me that the initial rendering did. I really like that silver, that chrome look that we got on his boom boom boobs and on all of the mechanical pieces on the figure. It looked more premium, and then when I get it in hand, I just think, and then this lack of kind of premium look and feel from the rendering is really on display when we look at Slag. Excuse me. Or Slug, whatever you want to call him. I'll continue to call him Slag. He was supposed to have this gorgeous chromed up silver mane looking almighty and fantastic, and what we got is kind of a beige, washed out looking, quite boring mane that doesn't have that premium feel. That's what I'm talking about here. And no communication from Hasbro on why we lost the chrome on this. It's just not there. We promised it, it's not there. If that happened in the world of computer games, basically a graphical downgrade on a figure, the whole fan base would rise up and be up in arms. But with Transformers, everyone goes, well, I'll paint it. I'll use my paint. I'll do it myself. Oh yeah, Hasbro. Yeah, I'll fix it myself. I accept your terms. One of the biggest pushbacks I get on this channel when I do kind of give some constructive feedback to Hasbro is, dude, it's alright, man. I'll just paint it myself. Oh, it's alright, just buy a filler pack. Why? Why do we give Hasbro such an out? It's interesting to me. Why? Had Hasbro been a little bit more clear with its communication, for me, I probably wouldn't be as disappointed as I was when I picked up those figures to review them, especially seeing as the back of the box, the rendering they put on the back of the box is still that digital rendering, not an actual product shot that shows the chrome, shows how nice it could have been. It's almost, look at what you could have won. Oh, it's always a speedboat. So I guess going forward, what I'm saying is I personally would love to see Hasbro being a little bit more open with its design choices, and certainly with the changes that it makes to the figures as it moves on in the design process. What were the challenges? Why are we now getting what effectively to me looks like a different, less premium figure? And then that could inspire me to think, well, maybe I will or maybe I won't pick this figure up, but I'd have more respect for the brand and the company because they're keeping everybody in the loop. We are the lifeblood of the Hasbro collectors market when it comes to this kind of thing, and we do have those opportunities where they could keep people in the loop. They have these Fan First Fridays, they have the Pulse Cons, they have an Instagram page where they could do all kinds of things to keeping us updated around not only product reveals and releases, but any changes to the products themselves in the same way that some of the better third-party companies do. So these are my thoughts on it. How do you feel about this topic? Please let me know down in the comments. Let's have a good discussion on this one. I would love to know your thoughts on this. Would you like Hasbro to keep you more in the loop? If you were more in the loop and Hasbro were more transparent with the changes that it's making, how would that impact your decision to buy certain products? Would it impact it at all? Would you actually be okay with this? Let me know, and as always, if you're new around here, please give me a like, a share, and a subscribe, and I'll talk to you down in the comments on this topic. I'll see you in a bit. Peace!